Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? LiveWire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't wanna miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats. You know that we gotta run it back, whether on the field or the court. You know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is LiveWire, sports and entertainment. Let's go.
All right, what's good, everyone? Welcome to another LiveWire Sports Media update. All right, so it seems like Unrivaled is still up to their old tricks, still trying to do the things that we expect them to do. Is trying to court Caitlin Clark, trying to bring Caitlin Clark in, trying to do the things that they think we want to hear about Caitlin Clark or joining this league. But nevertheless, so let me give you a little rundown. I did a video yesterday morning about Kate Martin, Lexi Hall, and I detailed that these two players are, Lexi is the newest best friend. Kate Martin been her best friend all through college. And Kate Martin plays for the Aces, so she's on there. Then Lexi Hall. Lexi Hall was the 29th person. And I detailed in that video, and I said that I do believe that the 30th person could be Juju, could be a Leo Boston. Now, I didn't say nothing about Nelissa Smith because Nelissa Smith is playing in China. Kelsey Mitchell is playing in China. Grace Berger's in China. Dantes is playing overseas. So most of the Fever team is playing somewhere else. So who could it be? We haven't heard nothing about Leo Boston name the whole time while they was dropping these roster spots for Unrivaled. And we already know that Leo Boston was doing some other things. And I did say yesterday in my video, I say Leo Boston could be that person, that 30th person. But I didn't expect it to go far until yesterday when I looked on X. Leo Boston was that 30th player. And so would or should that be the end of the whole Unrivaled roster? Nope. Nope. And silly of me, silly of us to think that, hey, well, we got what we wanted, the 30th player. We ain't got to worry about no Caitlin Clark joining Unrivaled. We just could go on about the business. We could get ready to watch her play golf, so forth and so on. But nope. Unrivaled hit us with another monkey wrench. Another monkey wrench. And this what happened next.
Hey guys, so I have some super exciting news. We are now moving from 30 roster spots to 36 and Unrivaled. We're able to do this because we outperformed our financial projections. And so now we get to do something that we wanted to do in the future, which is give more people spots in Unrivaled. This is such an amazing time in women's sports, and we're so thankful to all the positive people who have come out and supported us. We will be getting tickets soon. We will be getting the dates out soon. We'll be announcing everybody soon. But I know you guys have been asking for that information, and it is all coming. So stay tuned, and I can't wait to see everyone for this exciting and historic season of women's basketball.
Okay. They outperform their financial trajectory. What is your financial trajectory? What is it? We already know you have a TV deal. There ain't no merchandise being sold. Tickets haven't been sold yet. Matter of fact, you just got 6 teams. Now you're going from 30 to 36 because now you still want to have more room to see if you could grab Caitlin Clark. Now, I don't even know who the other 6 going to be because now I'm looking at the league and I'm like, who is these rest of these people? Where are these people going to come from? You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, What other money did you get? What other money did you come into? Me personally, it's just like college football players, the college universities. They have boosters. Boosters put money in to where they could fund some of the NIL deal, try to court some of these top players to their school. So you saying this to tell me that you have more sponsors locked in hopes to say, hey, okay, we're gonna give y'all more money to get more players in, but you're gonna have to leave a spot for Caitlin Clark. What more players playing for Unrivaled is going to help you if Caitlin Clark don't play? So you're gonna get all this extra money, then you might not, you have to produce in revenue to return that money back, to pay that money back. It's almost like still being in the WNBA because the WNBA still owes money to the NBA and to the owners. So if you're not putting out certain numbers, certain viewership numbers, in which we already know who's the box office queen when it comes to viewership numbers, that's CC22. But at the same time, if you don't land Caitlin Clark, what they're gonna leave you? You're gonna leave you with a big financial burden. Now TNT owns some of the league, so that's a good thing because then TNT could write that off as a debt, or they could just make you bankrupt this league if it doesn't become successful. And then guess what? This league folds. Now, I will get deeper into this a little bit more because I don't want to draw it out too much, but I do want to touch on a couple of things. The WNBA isn't going anywhere. So if Breonna Stewart, Kelsey Plum, and Nika Umake, they all on the committee for the WNBA PA, and they trying to work out this new collective bargaining agreement. And if Caitlin Clark doesn't join and the league wants Caitlin to focus on the league, Unrivaled is never going to be successful. I don't care what they do. Unrivaled right now has 6 teams. They moved from 30 to 36 right now. And guess what? They all gonna be living under one roof. And who better could clear this up is the president to break this nonsense down to y'all.
Aspect, right? And you brought it up briefly, but and we'll just use Angel and Caitlin, Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark for anyone, just for clarification. But and I don't know if some of it's orchestrated, if some of it's just natural, but they create this amazing storyline and they keep you constantly engaged, and you get the hate and you get the love on both sides, and ultimately that's what drives a lot. And people don't realize it, but you see that's helped men's sports immensely. How do you plan on, and I'm not saying from their standpoint or whatever, but how do you plan on building some of those storylines and that character development and that getting people, you almost got to separate into both sides because that's where you get the audience. Sure. What's the plan on that?
Well, I think forever sports has been driven with the conversation around it and debates. Who's the best player in the world? Who's going to win? What do we think of these matchups? And I think that's what we want to lean into with our league is matchups and players and rivalries. I think obviously you have to draw a line and make sure that the conversation is pointed towards sport and not towards anything else. But the biggest thing for us is the fact that, with what we're trying to do, we're going to create a level of access that fans haven't seen before. Our players are together, all of them under one roof for 10 straight weeks. So the content we're going to capture in practices, in post game, in off days, it's just going to lead to more intrigue and interest in knowing who these players are, who they gravitate towards. We're going to be in season during WNBA free agency, which is another interesting component that's going to be happening in real time. So I think all those things lead to generally just more interest. That's why you've seen docuseries of what happened with F1. People want the behind the curtain look at who these players are and what's going on outside of games.
Yeah, you're building like a reality show element to it to some degree, and that's probably not the right word, but you're getting that. Yeah,
it's raw. It's authentic and raw for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so let me stop him right there. Let me chime into this nonsense real quick. Y'all follow along with me real quick on this. This is about to be a reality show. That's what it is. A basketball reality show where you get 30, 36 players playing. You're gonna have cameras following them around. They're gonna be playing basketball. They're gonna have games on live TV, regular TV. Then off script, you're gonna be following them around. You're gonna see the interaction, who interacts with who, create all these storylines. All you're gonna see some tension. I can promise you. And I laid out some of this tension that you're gonna have. Say that Kennedy Carter does join now Unrivaled because she was offered, but she said she didn't get it. So say she gets it now. Kennedy Carter has issues with Caitlin Clark, but none of that. Now she has issues with Marina Mabry. Can you imagine Marina Mabry squad going against Kennedy Carter squad, and they fussing and yapping at each other, going at it at each other? You want to create a WWE basketball type style. That's what this is. And no, just like shout out to Ben Daniels, he always called it the WWE is the WNBA is the WWE. He labels Caitlin, Angel Reese and Kennedy Carter the Dudley Boys. You know, it just goes to show you the level of nonsense they willing to go to just to get people to watch it. If it's about basketball, leave it about basketball. You don't need personal information, personal filming of these players. You know, if you want to get up close, personal, then that's fine. You know what I'm saying? But do it a different way. You already talking about, well, we're gonna be in season during the free agency period. Now you got all these players under one roof, and they all talking about who's going where. You know what I'm saying? That's to me, I feel like that's a level of tampering because these players don't need to know who's going to get moved here and there. And you know they all gonna talk. Them players talk. You know what I'm saying? Those players talk. Then you already had, I think you had Nafisha Caller come out with a lineup of her own, talking about certain things here and there. Somebody put on X said that Caitlin, Lexi, Kate, Aaliyah, Nafisha, and Enrique will be an ideal roster. And then someone replied back to under Unrivaled, say, "Are you locking those in or waiting for the final six players?" So apparently they found it more appealing about that roster. Now, would it be ideal? But who knows? I don't know. I come to this conclusion. I don't think Caitlin's going to play. That's just. I think they stretching it out. The president talked about leaving a roster spot open for Caitlin. Where she gonna play and all of that. So hoping she plays and stuff like that. But she's not gonna play. And this is what I said this morning. I said that Caitlin's Caitlin's job is to focus on the WNBA. If I could, I'm gonna try to see if I could bring up something real quick with it that was talked about. I don't know if I could get it real quick, but I'm gonna try it anyway. And it was mostly about I think this is it. I'm not sure. I'm gonna try to pull it up real quick. Let me see. Oh yeah, there you go. So the Fever are aware of unrivaled pursuit of Caitlin, and the franchise will not tell her don't go or you can't go, according to sources. They recognize that if it's a Lionel Messi type deal, you're not going to tell her don't. One source familiar with the Fever said. but they hope that she doesn't. They want to provide her with an environment in Indiana where there will be no reason to do anything. That's the focus. They that they hope, but they do. But do they think Robert is going to throw her some absurd amount of money? Yeah, I do believe that. Of course they do, because what else are they going to do? No one's watching this without her, and that's clear facts. Nobody's going to watch Unrivaled. Some people might peek in just to be curious. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna peek in just to be curious, but nobody's going to fully be locked in to watch it. Nobody's going to turn to Max, HBO Max, just to watch it. Yeah, people might flip to the channel on TNT or TBS to see it, but guess what? How many people watches TNT unless it's the NBA on there? You know, you feel what I'm saying? And just to create this nonsense or fiasco, just to hope that she, you know, pops up in there. You know, they want her there. They want her in there. They want to piggyback off of her. They want to use her marketing ability, her popularity to boost their league. When they didn't want to get behind her from the get-go to help boost the WNBA. You in a collective bargain agreement battle right now. Why not put all your focus into that? You know what I'm saying? You had this league in place for 2 years. You knew Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese was coming out. You knew that the collective bargaining agreement was going to end in time. So you already had this planned out to have your own league. But guess what? A new league going against a machine is never going to win. Because guess what? Breonna Stewart going to have to pick and choose one thing. They're going to either play for the WNBA or play for Unrivaled. Because eventually the money is going to come in the WNBA. Eventually. I ain't saying today, tomorrow, whenever. I said eventually. As long as Caitlin Clark is the excuse me, it's the centerpiece of it, it's going to be that. And I think the WNBA recognizing this now. Now, some people say that, hey, Anna Silver and Kathy Engelberg gave their blessing to Breonna Stewart to pursue this, but I don't think they're behind it. I really don't think so, because that's like, you got to think that's why the NBA didn't want to deal with Ice Cube and the Big Three. So why would the NBA and the WNBA get behind another league? Now, you can't tell a person to create something, but they probably say, hey, yeah, okay, fine. Long as it does not interfere with the WNBA. I think they gave their blessing to that, long as it's not interfering. But knowing how sneaky Breonna Stewart is, she wants it to rival with them, because the more players they get coming into the league and playing in a rival, they can span the format a little bit more, from 3-on-3 to 5-on-5. Then guess what? You are playing a whole game instead of a 3-man game or a 3-woman game, if you will like it. So there are some premeditated plan for Unrivaled, how they want to tackle on. Now, I still don't think they're gonna be able to touch Ice Cube's Big Three. Ice Cube's Big Three been going on strong, and they still get players in. So, and people will watch the men quicker than they watch the women, especially if Caitlin Clark's there. Then it's a whole different ball game. Now, Scott Agness, he's a Fever insider. He writes, I believe he writes for the Fever, and he broke it down simply. He said he does not think that Caitlin Clark is going to join Unrivaled. Take a listen.
Who's going to consider this? Should she consider this?
I don't think so. And the biggest factor, more than anything, I think, is rest. Like, she has not had much downtime outside of the last month here for the last year. And I think this is an opportunity for her to really have a solid, productive offseason, as much in the weight room as on the court. She now knows exactly what is needed of her and of her body. And I think oftentimes in any league, you see a huge amount of growth from year 1 to year 2. So that's the first point. Second of all, she doesn't need the money. So that affords her the opportunity to be a little bit more choosy. I think a lot of the intrigue with the league is not only it's in the US, but it's in the offseason, but also the higher pay and such. And so I think they need her more than obviously she needs them because of all her opportunities, right? Next month, she's going to play in an LPGA Pro-Am down in Florida. Like, good for her. That's the other part of her competitiveness is she's able to see that golf angle come out. The only aspect where I could make that argument for her is if you don't play for, let's call it 8 months, there is some rust that builds up a little bit. But I mean, if I'm her, I could go back to Iowa and scrimmage probably, right? If I wanted, or I could probably get in with another high level game. But overall, no, I don't think it makes too much sense for her. What about you?
Yeah, I do think it does seem like she's a little bit more focused on her golf game this offseason, which, hey, that's gonna be fun to watch. Maybe she'll
some people probably thought she was joking at that post game press conference where she was like, "Yeah, we'll see how good I can get at golf." It's like, no, that's actually what she was doing a lot of.
Well, we've seen her soccer
during the Olympic break.
Like, she could be elite, basically any sport that she puts her mind to. Like, it's just it's pretty incredible to watch. But no, I think you make good points. She's coming off. She played 325 straight days of basketball, basically, with no break, minus the Olympics. Like, she's been going and going and going. Beyond that, she talks to the media before and after every game. She signs every autograph, smiles at every kid. Seemingly, she seems to show up at every possible team, Pacers, Fever-related function. Like, whatever obligation she has to the team, franchise, to the game overall, like, she's fulfilling it and then some with, like, the sheer act of just being Caitlin Clark and, like, what has now become, like, the occupation of performing Caitlin Clark for the world 24/7. So if she doesn't want to do it, I have absolutely no problem with that. I'll see you in May. Like, I'll miss you. I just want to see her play basketball. But I do think at the same time, there's something really fascinating about Unrivaled and the opportunity to play in a league where you can get equity, especially, for somebody like Caitlin, who just brings so many eyeballs just individually. Like, just imagine a world where LeBron, Steph, Tom Brady, they're playing in their respective leagues and they're actually getting equity as opposed to salaries. Like, it's like salaries for the biggest stars in any sport have always been artificially low. Now, obviously, that's more than the case with Caitlin making $75,000 a year. That's a point that Nafisa Collier made. I can't remember who she was talking to. I think it was on FanDuel TV, where she says, like, this is part of the change. Like, just the fact that, the growth that Caitlin's brought to the game and the money she's making, even though people are, like, moving their venues to play, to watch her play, but she's not actually being able to cash in on all of that. And I just think from, like, a larger professional sports perspective, like, just imagine a world in which Caitlin Clark has equity in herself and in her game. Like, think about these franchise valuations going up right now, right? Like, the Aces get bought for $2 million. I think they're worth like $140 million now. The Dallas Wings valuation goes from $75 million to $200 million within the course of a half season. All of that is happening in large part because of Caitlin, but she's not getting to cash in on that aspect of it. And I think that's a part of it, like, that I'm really, really interested in. But hey, doesn't have to do it this year. She can do it next year as well. If she ever wants to do that, she can see if the league really actually, like, takes off, can be a platform for that. But I'm so intrigued by that thing.
All right. And they actually made some really good points because Caitlin doesn't need the money, but she could wait till next year and say, hey, okay, let me see what it looks like this year. And she will have equity. Now, I'm a caution to this too, because what if the CBA offers some kind of equity? What if the owners and the WNBA know that Caitlin has that kind of power and want to offer her something? Because if you paid attention to that little column I read and said that they want to keep her there, not playing in a rival, but they want her to continue to develop and whatever the case may be. So if you think about it, if Unrivaled was to take off, and when I say Unrivaled was to take off and they add more teams and they play in different venues instead of just one place, could it rival the WNBA? No, because you can still have young ladies coming out of college want to play in the WNBA. And I said this before, if the WNBA and the NBA is smart or say that Breonna Stewart and Nika are smart, they will ask the league and say, hey, why not have like a G League, give us a G League like the NBA, where we have these young ladies come out of college and some of them who don't get drafted, they have the opportunity to still play basketball. They might not get paid. They might get paid just a little bit and they could develop their game, get better. And then, for instance, say somebody get injured for one of these teams, you could call them up. You know what I'm saying? I think that's something that could be very, very beneficial in the long run. But make no mistake, Unrivaled say and do, they say one thing, do the opposite. They offering Caitlin Clark, quote unquote, $1 million. That's not enough. Some think she's going to do it, especially now that they expand the roster from 30 to 36. We just got to wait to see who are these other extra players that they're going to have. I'm still curious about where the heck they're getting all this money from. Because like I said, it has to be some form of donation, sponsors, donors, whoever is like putting money into this league, because they are hoping Caitlin Clark takes it. Yes, the reports are Caitlin Clark is leaning. They trying to negotiate still with Caitlin Clark. She is supposedly, quote unquote, I'm not 100% sure, that they said Caitlin Clark is leaning to 60-40 of making the decision to join the league. And that's what they're banking on. But I still got to caution y'all on this. Even if Caitlin Clark joins Unrivaled, how well you think she's going to be received by all of these players? Not by Nafisha Carter, not by Enrique Umawale, not by Aaliyah Boston, who's a teammate, not by Lexi Hall, who's a teammate, not by Kate Martin, who's her best friend. I'm talking about the others. How well are they going to open their arms to Caitlin Clark? I don't see that happening. I see they're gonna be like so thrilled that she gets into them, and they guess what's gonna happen? They're gonna be like, oh well, now we got her. Now we ain't gotta pay no attention to her. We got her in our league. We could just do her any kind of way we want to. We already seen what they have done to her in the W. So what makes you think her joining Unrivaled is going to be any different? They just going to use her for her clout. That's it. They're going to use her for what she could do for them, and then they're going to brush her aside. Because they know they like, well, Caitlin want to play basketball. That's what she talked about. She still want to play basketball. But like I said, I caution everything against what she has said before after the pros game, that she's going to take some time off. She wants to play golf. That's the most relaxing game there is, because you are a battle with yourself. You don't have to deal with 4 other people that you have to worry about and a coach. You know what I'm saying? So again, I don't think she's going to play. I will be surprised, but I do not think Caitlin Clark is going to play. I think these people are from Unrivaled is doing it. They're pulling out all the stops. They're pulling out all the bells and whistles. They sending a marching band out there. They shoot or having an airplane fly across the sky, skywrite and everything in the air. Hey, Caitlin, we want you. You remember that old Uncle Sam poster where he'd point and say, "I want you." That's Unrivaled. Unrivaled is pointing at Caitlin Clark saying, we want you. We don't care about nobody else. Because guess what? If Caitlin gets the biggest bag out of all of them, guys, you already know what I'm about to say. So I don't even have to say it. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think about Caitlin Clark and Unrivaled and moving from 30 to 36, trying to leave more room. They don't even have coaches, man. This league is crazy. It's going to be a popularity contest, love and hip hop type of thing. So just without the men, But leave a like, comment, subscribe. Continue to support the channel. Until then, I also do have 2 live streams going tomorrow. My first live stream is at 5:30 tomorrow. I will be putting everything together probably tomorrow morning. I will have our first live at 5:30 with Miss Adrian Ross. Then 7:30 that night, I will be bringing on Rudy from Come On Now podcast, and hopefully I will get Van Daniels to join him as well. And we're gonna have a ball on some live streams on tomorrow. So stay tuned, stay locked in. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. It's your boy LiveWire Sports Media.
Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? LiveWire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't want to miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats. You know that we gotta run it back, whether on the field or the court. You know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is LiveWire, sports and entertainment. Let's go.